Well, there today we are at the Hard Rock Hall of Fame for the 3rd International Tattoo Convention, and joining me is a representative from one of the key sponsors. They're called Cam Supply. His name is Kuntani. Kuntani, my God, how many people you got here today?
I hope a lot.
Unbelievable.
Yes, it is. These people worry about the venue being so off-site. Yeah. Before in the past it was in the mall, and foot traffic is easy in the mall. But here we to bring people outside of the mall, outside of the comfort zone, and we were afraid it wasn't happening.
But obviously what you've done is, okay, you don't have the passerby, but you've got the dedicated people who are really interested in the whole tattoo art.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
For me, I don't have any tats. Now, I'm going to ask you, have you got any?
I don't have any tats. I don't have any either. No.
Surely when you work, you don't have one on your back or something.
No.
Surely when you work for a company, you would expect to have it. Okay, right. But anyway, right. So let's talk a little bit about Cam Supply. What does your company do? Why have you sponsored this event? And what are you bringing to it?
Okay. Well, Cam Supply is been in business for 20 years. We're worldwide with distribution in Canada, US, UK, China, and now in Thailand. Our philosophy is very simple. Bring good product at good prices.
Okay. Now, when you say good product, what is that? Is that the ink? Is that I don't even know the terminology, the machinery that you use?
Correct.
Or is it the artists and the artwork?
Yes, it's basically the supply part, where the machine, the ink, the needles, all those are very important to the artist, to the resulting work of the artist.
Okay. Well, I remember, I've been in Thailand 10 years, and I remember reading the rough guide to Thailand. And when it was talking about safety precautions,
yes,
it said, whatever you do not get a tattoo in Thailand, because people worry about, getting infectious diseases.
Right.
But I guess, that's obviously people are safe, right?
Right. Yes, they are. And that's one of the things that we try to promote as well. We understand, and that's one of the reasons why I came to Thailand. I'm Thai, but I saw the industry. It was good, but it's not quite there in the international level yet. Okay. One of the biggest problems was the supplies. People were getting supplies and they weren't sure if it's real ink or not. There's a lot of fake inks out there right now today, out in the market.
Well, what's the difference? All right, one's fake, one's real, but does it fade after a time, or what's the problem?
It's not really fading is the issue. It is the ingredient content. Sometimes if you don't clean the pigment good enough, sometimes you might have lead, arsenic inside the paint. That's very dangerous. That's what the doctor from Pattaya, the health department doctor, talked about. It's very important to understand where your ink's coming from, because that's the beginning. That's the beginning of the responsibility of every artist. It's an ink, because your customer come to get a tattoo and you don't know where your ink's coming from, and you put it on their body just because it looks good. This is in your body forever. It's not always absorbed into the liver, and a lot of cancer happens.
You don't want zinc and everything going.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want that. So.
Okay, so that's one of the principles, I guess, of your company. Then that you make sure that the ink is absolutely as best as it can.
Yes. All our inks we import from U.S. All inks are also sterilized. Okay. Yeah, all sterilized and all tested. They all have lot number, just like medicine. If a batch is found bad, they'll recall all of it. Yes, so it's part of the industry. It's not regulated by the government. It's mostly self-regulated. So a lot of the ink companies that we sponsor have been doing this for a long time, and they're in business because they take care of the customer and they take care of the inks. Yeah.
So what have you found today? What's it been like? You've got people. I have to say, I was expecting it to be 100% Thai. You've got quite a lot of Farangs here.
Yes.
And the age group, you've got people here with their kids. Hopefully the kids aren't getting tattoos, or maybe they do, I don't know. But you've got quite a wide age range as well.
Right.
I've seen one Farang around the corner. He must be in his 60s. He's getting which won't be his first tattoo. Are you surprised by how popular it is?
Yeah, I was surprised more that the news got out, I mean, we weren't sure. We weren't sure how the venue was going to work out, you know. So, but we're happy to see everybody out here because this is important to, you know, to promote tattooing and to also show that, you know, tattooing is not something taboo or anything, but to understand there's people that tattoo are like normal everyday people, you know, but they have an art, they have a skill, you know.
Why do you think that they do it? Why do they do it? I mean, you know, is it a form of expression? Is it a way of them expressing themselves, or is it a rite of passage, or what do you think? I mean, you haven't got any, so maybe you don't know.
Yeah, no. I tattooed my daughter. She has a couple of tattoos already. But a lot of people told me, you know, like they think taking the pain of the needle going in your body, that's a right to manhood, you know.
Okay.
Some do. I'm not saying everybody. But then after that, you actually get addicted. That's an addiction for ink. You know, but again, you know, it's up to individual. We just try to promote that you guys use good, safe product. You know, even good needles. Needles important because right now Thailand has like we always have a simple model. Number one artist should not use number two grade product. Because right now Thailand has good hands, but right now they lack a lot of supplies like inks. You know, many inks have different shades, and they're not able to get those shades until now. So we hope maybe within a year or two, China will be on the international map.
Okay, so and it means that for the national artists, they're going to embrace these new products,
right?
Which I guess for them, because they are artists, aren't they?
Yeah,
I mean, they come up with all these different drawings and pictures and whatever. And I guess that a lot of people come and say, well, I don't know what I want, and they might look through and say, well, I like what you do, but I want you to do something just for me.
Right.
Is that how they do it? Do they do like one-offs?
Yeah, they do. They usually start off with a base picture. They go, pick me any picture you want.
Okay.
A wolf, flat line, a flower, butterfly. Let me know what you want.
Sure. And you modify.
Yes. They'll draw it out. They'll hand draw it out. They print on printer, whatever, and they modify like you said. Yes.
Okay. All right. Hi, Quintana. Well, you know, it's very interesting. I would never. I'm not that good with needles, to be honest. So I don't think I could handle the pain.
Right.
But I think it's great work that you're doing, and I'm so impressed with the time that you've got here today. The event's it's over actually 2 days, right?
Yes, 2 days.
Unfortunately, by the time this is on here, it'll all be over. But great event here at the Hard Rock. We might try and speak to one or two other people here today at this wonderful tattoo convention, the third one here in Pattaya, but the first time those came out of a shopping centre. Stay tuned. Quintana, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. One of the other sponsors today is a company called Bloodline. Actually, their parent company is called what, Mark?
Skin Candy.
Skin Candy. And joining me is Mark August. Mark, I just interviewed Quintana, who's one of the other sponsors today, who doesn't have one tattoo on his body.
Yeah.
You're doing that bad, mate.
We forgive him.
Okay, right. First question is, I was asking him about why people do it. And his answer to me was, well, you know, often they have one and then they get a taste for it. It's not just, it's not they're fighting through the pain, but it's art and it's a way of dressing the body. What's your whole take on that?
Well, since it's a Thai audience, Thai my crap.
Okay.
Which, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Okay.
But you know, my take on it's always been like, I think it's a rite of passage for men especially. Okay? So it's kind of like a psychic armor. You know, it's like, well, now that I've got all these tattoos, it's like, maybe bad guys won't threaten me so much. I can walk down the street. I can feel a little more secure. I'm more of like one of them. It's kind of, I think it is more of a rite of passage or just protection.
Okay.
I think also once you get that whiff of green soap, you just got to keep coming back for more.
Really? Yeah. When you say protection, do you think that there's any aspect of it where people think they're protected by some kind of religious or spirits or gods or something as well? Does that come into it, or is that just...
I think that, I don't know if religion comes into it, but I think there's some sort of higher power greater than ourselves, right? That may be, watching over us.
Okay.
I don't really belong to any kind of secular beliefs, but...
But you believe in karma?
Sure. Yeah, it hits hard.
I'm with you, man.
We're in Thailand, man.
Yeah. All right, okay.
Homrak Tini.
Okay. How many tats do you have? Or, they all kind of blend in.
I would say so. I got my first tattoo when I was 29, and I'm 49 now.
Okay.
So, I started, I'm 29, 30, and I never kept track of how many I've got. I started with very big pieces. I got most of my work done all at once, right? So I got a big outline on my right arm, and then I went straight to my back piece, which is a very famous tattoo artist named Ed Hardy. You guys have probably heard of him. Yeah, not the shirt guy, but the actual tattoo artist. So most of my work was done early work was done in San Francisco. And like I said, big pieces, and I get small ones here and there. But when I started making color in 1996, I had no guinea pigs, so I used myself as a guinea pig to make sure that I wouldn't have any reactions to the color, right? So anybody that's buying my ink should know that I've always tested it on myself first. Okay? But it wasn't, 18 years ago, there wasn't 100 different ink companies. There was maybe 8 or 9 of them. So we didn't have any ways to really test it out.
Let's talk about Bloodline, and we'll also talk about Say Prayer as well. You got a whole bunch of paints behind us. You call them paints or?
Call them tattoo pigments.
Tattoo pigments, okay. How many do you have under your umbrella?
I'd say about 150. Yeah, I make probably 2 colors a week, new colors. Some of them make the palette, some of them don't. Right? I actually enjoy, sometimes I name them before, I dream about them before I actually make them. Right? It's like Pat Pong Pink. So I've got this line of Asia colors specifically for Asian artists because their hand is a little bit lighter. Okay? So I made a little bit thinner ink. Well, not everybody, but generally I was getting a lot of feedback from the Asian artists that was like, we want ink that's easier to go in the skin. So I started making one that was a little bit thinner. Okay? But I came up with like Pattaya Pink for the show. So that's in the line. Grand Palace Gold, Ratchada Red, Pat Pong Pink, Beijing Blue, Boracay Blue for Philippines, Cebu Mango. Right? So I really enjoy making, I've got Hot Pussy for America. But yeah, I've got about 150. And then I also have the black light colors, which Skin Candy is famous for. Started manufacturing. Actually, I was the one to introduce black light colors, UV colors, in the year 2000. I've been on they're very popular. Actually, Lil Wayne, I think, famous rapper, he's got one on his neck. So now they're super famous. But people always have the question: are they as safe as regular tattoo inks? And they're actually safer. Yeah, the testing that nothing can grow out of a black light ink because it's a dyed resin as opposed to a organic pigment. Organic pigment, things can grow out of that. So. All
right, let's talk a little bit about Siam Prayer.
So I went on. Siam Prayer. Since 2012, I visited Thailand about 5 or 6 times. Really enjoyed myself, and I started seeing all the girls around the Sukhumvit area at Soy Cowboy with the prayer on their back, and I was curious. I was asking Tammy, I was like, what kind of ink are they using? And then, well, the monks do it. I said, well, they got to be using something. They said, well, they actually use Dynamic. Maybe I shouldn't say that name, but you can blurb it out. But I was like, well, why don't I just make an ink especially for them that they can call their own? And that's how I came up with Siam Pro.
But anyway, it's a popular thing, isn't it? Where they're taking something, and this this does tie in with origin in a sense because it's like I have no idea, of course, what it says, but it looks like I guess what we would call scripture or something.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So when you decided to come up with the saying, how challenging is that?
It's always challenging anytime you're coming out with a new product. You know, but it was more challenging in this respect because I wanted to have respect for the monks and the people of Thailand. So instead of me coming up with my own design saying, hey, this is a prayer ink, what I did was we got together with a couple of the artists from the Pattaya Tattoo Club, and they all collaborated on the design. Hack did the centerpiece and the lion, then Pattaya Tony or Pattaya Tony, I don't know what he calls himself, gave us the lion, and then Juice did the Siam. So they all collaborated on it, and like I said, instead of just like throwing it out there, I wanted to bring it to them first and see how they felt about it. And not only that, this is not for sale in the U.S., or it's not in my catalog. I wanted to keep it in Thailand at least for the first year and let all the other artists find out about it instead of putting it out there in every country saying, hey, this is a prayer ink, okay? And make it more special for the Thai artists, make it their own.
All right. Mark, we're going to wind up there. So there you go, folks. It's been a couple of great days here, but we're only here on the first day. But what a great summer. You're impressed, right?
I'm extremely impressed. Yeah. It's amazing. It show's got a lot of good karma to it.
It does karma.
It does.
All right, okay. If you're interested in any of the products that we've been talking about, the websites, the details have been on the screen. Get in touch with Mark or indeed with Quintana, and maybe you'll be getting a bit of a love for the ink, right?
Well, www.bloodlinetattooinks.com. You must register your shop. You cannot be tattooing out of your house to purchase that ink. Or get it straight from Can Supply. We'll be the distributor. We'll be the exclusive distributor for Siam Prayer. Okay. Well, so if you see it coming from anywhere else, it isn't real.
It's not real. And as Danny was saying, you've got to be really careful about some of this fake ink that's going around, or the pigment.
As Mark about that too. I can go on for a long time about the fake. Stay away from the fake inks. Always stick with your exclusive distributor, with a reputable dealer.
That's it. Know your dealer. Same old adage. This is Paul for PMTV. See you again. Bye-bye. Thanks very much.